Hail Internet, I am Lord VikingBeard. Welcome to Deadlight, a platforming adventure through zombie-infested lands. You play Randall Wayne, a man searching for his family across Seattle during the aftermath of a 1980s event that has decimated life on Earth. It's a pretty standard frame, but it gives you enough to push ahead in the game. But to be honest, it doesn't really need it, as the core gameplay is instantly engaging. Essentially a 2D platformer in the vein of old school pixel precision platformers like Abe's Odyssey and Another World. Deadlight is focused on running and jumping to get out of danger, instead of using the extremely limited combat to survive. And it's really good, with some nice stretches of pure platforming having you slip past enemies before they move from the background into the two-dimensional plane you inhabit, or jumping over them and climbing buildings and diving through windows. The combat and the platforming are inextricably linked by a stamina bar. Every attack you do will drain it, making subsequent attacks extremely sluggish if it is emptied. The same thing will happen if you sprint for too long. Once the bar is drained, you'll be unable to run. Basically, the game will punish you for overusing anything, so tactical timing is key. A large focus of the gameplay is physics puzzles, dropping stuff off of ledges to break things, or knocking others over to clear a path. They are for the most part simple, but with satisfying results. However, nothing in your playthrough should give you too much trouble. The game has a very good amount of checkpoints, so any deaths will not lead to frustration. There is a nightmare mode, but it doesn't actually change the core game, it just takes those checkpoints away and actually feels like a cheap excuse to pad out the game. The world in Deadlight looks astounding. Every single background is brimming with detail, and the entire thing has this washed out palette that really sells the devastation. I also really like, as I mentioned before, background enemies will spot you and move into the play area to attack. It gives the best context I have ever seen to enemies spawning in behind you, instead of coming out of infinite doors or appearing out of thin air. There is a lot to like in Deadlight, but it does have a few problems. For one, it's way too short. My first playthrough clocked in at about 2 hours. The voice acting is mediocre, at best bringing down the otherwise stellar performance from really great to just really good. And again, the so-called nightmare mode doesn't bring anything new and feels like a cheap attempt to add some replay value, but just makes the game frustrating by having you start at the beginning of each chapter if you die. You can buy Deadlight for $9.99 on Steam. While it's by and large a great little game, the problems it does have edge it out of a full price recommendation. But as usual with these things, grab it cheap and it's well worth your time. Farewell, and thanks for watching.